Good evening, everyone. President Donald Trump announced trade negotiations with Canada are canceled over a commercial. It comes after the province of Ontario used former President Ronald Reagan's voice and sentiment in an ad that's critical of tariffs.
News 4's Rob Petrie joins us live outside the KeyBank Center, where the Toronto Maple Leafs are set to take on the Sabres tonight. It's a matchup here in Buffalo that traditionally sees a lot of Canadians in attendance. Rob.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Dave and Kelsey. I got to tell you, there's no lack of fans wearing those blue jerseys with the big Maple Leafs on them. A lot of fans we've talked to, here today, making their way into the stadium that actually made their way here to Buffalo from across the border. And that is despite the news that trade talks have been canceled. The news coming late Thursday after President Trump took to Truth Social, his social media app, saying, quote, based on their egregious behavior, all trade negotiations with Canada are hereby terminated. Now, this comes after Ontario released an ad that included excerpts from a 1987 radio address given by Ronald Reagan, where the former president criticized tariffs. Western New York and Canada have a historically strong cross-border connection that helps shape the area's economy. That's why I sat down today with Scott Barkowski. He's a labor economist and UB professor to provide some insight on how this might affect our area. He says it's likely that talks will resume at some point, but it's just how long it's going to take that will depend on what implications it might have for Western New York.
I mean, there is a lot of commerce with Canada in the region, so it can have important effects. But I don't think that it will result in a Great Depression in the Western New York area for sure. It definitely could cause some job losses, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, now those potential job losses that Professor Barkowski just alluded to could be seen at businesses that rely heavily on trade across the border. As it becomes more expensive for some of these businesses to get the products that they need, there could be potential hiring freezes, a scaling back of hours for employees, pay cuts, and even layoffs. Now, these potential job losses could be seen at those different businesses, but that's, of course, a worst-case scenario, right? This isn't something that is going to happen definitively, right? That's if talks don't resume and if a deal isn't made. But that's something that the professor says he believes will happen. It's just a matter of when and how much time elapses in between could mean either good or bad things for the local economy here in Western New York. We'll actually hear from some fans coming up at 6 who told us why they came here and why they're not too concerned on what's going on between Washington and Canada, coming up at 6 today. Reporting live outside the KeyBank Center here in Buffalo, Rob Petrie, News 4.